Coach Bennett remains hot. Another addition just yesterday to the program. And tonight, I'm joined by one of our newest Who's, Elijah Saunders. We don't ask for much, but make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. Give us that, and we will give you the great shows like what's coming up next on the Cavalier Connection. All right, tonight we're excited to have one of the newest Who's men's basketball players, San Diego State transfer, 6'8", power forward, Elijah Saunders. How are you doing tonight, Elijah?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Elijah, you were part of two really good teams that included a Final Four appearance and a Sweet 16 run. What was your role on those teams?
My freshman year, really didn't get to play that much. Earlier in the season, I had some opportunities to play, but we had an old team.
Right.
We had a lot of older guys ahead of me. So it was kind of hard to get onto the floor, but I really got to learn a lot. I got to experience winning. We won the league. We won the conference tournament. We went to the Final Four. We went to the national championship. So I really got to see, what it took to get to that level. And then on this team last year, I had a big role, in being part of a team that went to the Sweet 16. I started more than half the games this year, and I feel like I was a solid contributor.
Nice. We're excited to have you, and hopefully you'll help us make a run like that here in Charlottesville.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. You took a big leap from your first year to your second year, like you were just saying. Where do you feel you most improved from season 1 to season 2? And what are you focusing your efforts on for this offseason?
Yeah, I feel like my biggest leap was just in opportunity.
Right, that's true.
My freshman year, I really just didn't have the opportunity to get onto the court. And my sophomore year, also, I feel like I got more confidence, especially towards the end of my sophomore year. Just really believing in myself and, having proven in games, that I can do things, and almost proving it to myself at some point. So I feel like by the end of my sophomore year, I just had a lot more confidence than at the beginning.
Right. So give us an inside perspective. You're a high-level transfer. When you entered the portal, how much is your phone ringing, text, alerts, et cetera, and how do you handle that with exams and everything else going on in a student's life?
Yeah, so luckily, I was pretty much almost done with my school at San Diego State. At the time, I think I had like a couple more finals I had to complete, but they were just online. So, I was really just able to take the calls.
Right.
I really wasn't expecting, to have as much contact as I did. I knew some opportunities I would have in the portal, but I wasn't for sure who would reach out to me. But I feel like I talked to almost anyone you could talk to.
Right.
Kentucky, Louisville, Arkansas, LSU, Auburn. I feel like, I talked to pretty much everyone. So, it was a lot, but, I was just trying to get in and out of the portal as quick as I could.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you decided you were going to transfer, what were you most looking for in a new school, and what made UVA the best fit for you?
I was really just looking for a new opportunity, just also a change of scenery. I feel like, I just had more to show. And I feel like also in a bigger league on a bigger platform.
Okay.
Just a higher level, a bigger league. I feel like San Diego State, we were still in the Mountain West, still a mid-major program at the end of the day, even though we had success.
Oh, yeah.
I was just looking for a bigger opportunity.
Cool. What was your visit like at UVA, and how did Coach Bennett and staff pitch you on coming to UVA?
Oh, the visit was amazing. Virginia was kind of my first choice out of the schools that had reached out to me, just because I know the culture. I still value winning.
Right,
high school, I went to a really good high school. Between my junior and senior year, I think we only lost like 4 games.
Right.
Won a state championship in high school. And at San Diego State, we had, as much success as we could have. So, I knew Virginia's track record, national championship, never finished under, I think, 5th in the ACC, and that was only once. Other than that, it's like only under 3rd.
Right.
And then, just the location, I feel like it's really just a quiet place, more of a calmer pace.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere I could really just focus on basketball and just really lock in on that end.
I was going to say, we always say, so exactly what you just said. When sometimes in the season we feel like the struggle, things are struggling a little bit, but we always said, Coach Bennett, he always has the team. I said it last year. We had a little stretch that was a struggle. I knew we were going to finish inside that top 4. Every year we're competing for the ACC title. It's crazy. Yeah. It could feel like it's a bad year, but he's always got the Cavaliers competing for the ACC title. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Was NIL a discussion at all? And can you talk about that, or was that weaved into the recruiting pitch at all? Or
yeah, NIL for me really wasn't like one of the main priorities.
Right.
So I was never, chasing NIL or anything like that. But, I'm pretty sure most of the NIL stuff is like non-disclosure. So
right. Yeah, I gotta ask. But so we've seen you listed as a 4, but you have the skills to play anywhere from a 3 to a 5, it seems. How do you see yourself fitting into this team?
Yeah, I see myself as a 4-3. I remember there was a game this year at San Diego State where we had Jaden Ledee out, and sometimes I was the biggest player on the floor.
Right.
We played Yale in the Sweet 16 in the round of 32 this year, and I was guarding their center at times. So I felt like I can guard multiple positions. So I feel like I'm versatile. I can shoot the ball. So it allows me to play multiple positions.
Nice. So you, we got Florida State's point guard transfer Jalen Worley, Duke power forward TJ Power, Vanderbilt's Carter Long. We just added Day Adams, and yourself have provided quite the talent infusion to this roster. Have you thought about how good this team could be next year?
Yeah, no, that was one of the main, attractions to me as well. Isaac McKinley actually played against him in AAU.
Okay.
I remember him just going off on us. I think he had like 30 points.
Probably 10 threes.
Yeah. And then TJ Power had actually committed when I was on my visit. So Coach Bennett was just saying that, he was going to be an addition to the team as well as myself if I committed. Day Ames was on my visit as well. Wardley had just committed, so it was kind of like I could see what was
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And myself and Day added to that.
Right.
We could definitely have something special, and not just for this year, but also possibly moving forward. We got guys that have multiple years of eligibility. Right. So just that was a big attraction for me.
I was gonna say, other than Worley, it's crazy. Like, the team is so young, the amount of eligibility left. And I tell you, UVA basketball fans would have loved for y'all to have all tweeted out, hey, everybody relax, we're coming. The basketball fans were worried.
Yeah. it was funny, when I first committed, I started looking at some of the fan pages. I didn't realize that you guys had no commits up until we all committed in the same couple days span. So in the waiting game.
If you look back at one of our episodes, just right before the week before everyone committed, and we talked about we went through the ACC. I think there may have been one other school that had no commits at that time in the portal, and I can tell you what, the people were getting antsy. Yeah. But we were like, Coach Bennett's going to come up with something here, and then all of a sudden, everything just fell right into place. So we're pretty excited. Yeah. And I know you mentioned, I was going to ask you, are you familiar with any of the current players? So I know you said you played against McNeely, and you knew TJ Powers. Anybody else you're familiar with?
Well, Jacob Kofi, he's from the West Coast. So actually, I've seen him play a lot of times, just going to games. I think they played in Torrey Pines in San Diego when I was over there. Section 7, which is a tournament in Phoenix. I've seen him play against my former high school. So, I know how talented he is. Buchanan, he was someone that was, Coach Bennett was given high praise. So I've been familiar with some of the guys, not as much because it is a different side of the country. But, quickly learning about, the talent that was already on the roster, as well as the guys that we could be bringing in. I can tell that it could be something special.
Yeah. When do you plan to move to Charlottesville?
June 15th.
Okay.
I think that's the day that all the guys will start getting into town, and we'll start the workouts for the summer.
Nice. Do you have any off-season plans other than getting to Charlottesville and off-season workouts?
Nah, just working out here in Phoenix. It's kind of nice. I get to work out with, the people who I worked out with coming up through high school, middle school. So, it's kind of nice to be around people who really know me,
right,
and know, what I could do.
Right, that's pretty cool. Is there a player in the NBA you try to mold your game after?
I wouldn't say more. I would say, I like guys who are kind of similar to my size, kind of my skill set. So anyone who's like 6'8", 220, 230, and can stretch the floor. That's guys I like to watch.
I'll say, that's your 6'8" NBA player now. You got to be able to stretch the floor. What do you enjoy doing outside of basketball?
Really just hanging out. I like, listening to music, watching movies. I like to golf. So, I heard some of the coaches on the staff and some of the players, I guess they enjoy golfing too. So I can hop in that group. But,
are you any good?
Yeah, no, I think I'm pretty solid. I've been playing golf since I was really little.
Nice. What's your handicap?
I don't know.
What, a 1, a 0?
I don't know. But
we like to play too, but we're not very good. So they got this saying that we have the Oculus. You put the headset on, and it's like realistic golf. You have a golf handle, and you feel like you're really out on the course. They got all the PGA Tour courses, and it makes me feel a little bit better about myself, because when I get on the regular course, man, things are rough.
Yeah.
But I love to play.
Yeah.
Do you have any message you want to pass to the Wahoo faithful?
Just I'm someone that's coming in trying to win. I'm trying to compete. I'm trying to go deep in the NCAA tournament again. I also feel like I've seen it. I've been there. I've been a part of a team that went to national championship. I've been a key contributor on a team that went to Sweet 16. And I can bring that winning culture and attitude to Virginia, and that's what I'm looking to do.
We're excited for that. So we're to close things out, we're gonna do a little 1 minute get to know you segment. So what's your favorite color?
Probably blue.
Blue? Okay, navy blue. Favorite food?
I I'd probably have to go with Mexican food.
Okay. How about favorite shoe brand?
Probably Nike.
Nike. Pepsi or Coke?
Probably Pepsi.
Pepsi. Gatorade color?
Probably yellow.
Okay. What's your favorite NBA team?
Probably the Suns.
Okay. Yeah. Who's the basketball GOAT?
Michael Jordan.
Yes. I'd love to hear that. Favorite musician?
Probably Michael Jackson.
Okay.
By someone who does a lot. Who's a true legend.
Oh yeah.
Probably Michael Jackson.
What's the most played song you have right now?
Man. Probably something off Gunna's new album.
Okay.
So probably some stuff there.
Okay. Would you prefer a big dunk or a big block?
Oh, probably dunk.
Okay. Yeah. Favorite sport other than basketball?
To play, probably baseball, but to watch, probably football.
Okay. And who's your favorite football team?
Probably the Cardinals.
Everything's Arizona. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Are you an early riser or a late nighter?
Probably early riser.
Early riser. Favorite movie?
Inception.
Inception.
Or Interstellar.
Okay.
Those are two great movies.
That's right. A favorite place to eat?
Probably any little taco shop.
Okay. Anything Mexican?
Yeah.
What about what's your favorite type of pizza?
Probably just plain pepperoni.
Plain pepperoni. Last one. Any celebrity crush? I know they're watching. All the celebrities are watching this.
I don't know. Probably like Zendaya.
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay. All right. Well, Elijah, I want to thank you for your time tonight. It was a pleasure to talk to you. I'd like to wish you good luck next season, and we're looking forward to watching you. We're excited. Everything that you guys are doing is exciting, and hopefully we'll be able to chat again before the season starts. And I really appreciate your time, and have a great evening.
Yes, you too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that was Elijah Saunders, one of UVA's newest members to the basketball team, one of the latest transfer portal gets for Coach Bennett. He transferred in from San Diego State. So just thinking about the basketball team for next year. So we've added Saunders, we've added Worley, we've added Powers, we've added Lang through the portal. And then yesterday we hit another home run, in my opinion, by adding Day-Day Ames, which filled our final scholarship spot for the 2024-25 season. So if you are listening to this, when you listen to this, definitely put your comments in, ask your questions. What are your thoughts on the transfer portal class that Tony Bennett has brought in? Ames was a 4-star portal recruit, considered 4-star from Kansas State. He had 16 starts last season as a freshman, and he seemed to pick up his game a bit towards the end of the season. He scored in double figures 3 of his last 5 games. He's an athletic point guard, 6'1". I'm not sure about him as a shooter, looking at some of his numbers at Kansas State, but he's definitely an athletic guy. Seems like he can get to the rim. Coming out of high school, he was the number 13 ranked point guard nationally and ranked number 83 nationally. So a great pickup yesterday to go along. And as we were just talking with Elijah Saunders, it was kind of crazy. He was discussing when he was at UVA for the visit. Also, TJ Powers was there, and Coach Bennett was able to tell him that he was going to be committing. And so if Elijah joined, he'd be joining up with TJ Powers. Also, Worley had just committed. And he also said Day-Day Ames was there at the same time, too. So Bennett was working hard while Elijah Saunders was there. And I told him, as you heard, it'd been nice for all the Cavalier faithful if they could have tweeted something out, a picture of themselves or something. Everybody rest easy. Coach Bennett's on the job. He's on the job. So, you look at that recruiting, the transfer portal, and Virginia, if the guys they got in, if they brought them in the 2023 out of high school, I believe I read they would have been the number 7 recruiting class. I think this is Tony Bennett's best roster he's had since 2016. So a lot to be excited about. So with those additions to the roster, our roster is also pretty young. Only 2 seniors, which is Worley and Tane Murray. So as the roster stands right now, we have 3 point guards on the roster. You have Worley, who's a senior. We have Ames, who's a sophomore, and Christian Bliss, who is a redshirt freshman. So a lot of youth there. You got, 4 years of Bliss available. You got Ames, who's just coming in, 3 years availability. And then at the 2 guard, just kind of what the roster is listing is 3 shooting guards. McNeely, and he's a junior, so we got 2 years left of McNeely. We have Gertrude, who's a sophomore, and Sharma, who is a freshman. And real quick, while we're on the 2 guards, I do want to bring up the Gertrude situation. And I'm sure some of you guys are out there reading that have read this on Twitter or on social media. Unfortunately, what I've read is Gertrude has a non-basketball related injury that may possibly sideline him for the season. That's really, we really hate that for him. That's a tough blow. And that guy, he took his red shirt off last year after Dante Harris had his injury. And now, I guess, on a positive, I guess we will. I don't want to call it a positive, but he will be able to use a red shirt this year. I'm guessing a medical red shirt, as long as I'm guessing if the information we're reading is correct. So, very unfortunate there. At the 3, the small forward, they have listed Rhodey, and he's a junior, and Tane Murray, who's a senior. And then at the power forward, that's just loaded. We have TJ Power, who's a sophomore, Elijah Saunders, who's a junior. So we got 2 years with him, and Coffee, he's a freshman. And Saunders said he's definitely played some with him and a nice athlete. And then 2 bigs, 2 centers. Blake Buchanan's a sophomore, and Anthony Robinson, who's a redshirt freshman, who the video footage of Anthony Robinson, this guy is a freak athlete. So that is your scholarship athletes going into next season. So that's a lot to be excited about. We were concerned a few weeks ago. We were concerned about Tony Bennett we didn't have any transfer portal commits, one of only 2 ACC schools at that time. And boy, he unloaded in the last 2 weeks. And there's a lot to be excited about. I even saw, I want to say, our guy, John Rothstein, says that's a team you could win a national title with. And he feels like he's been anti-Virginia recently. But this is quite the roster, opportunity for guys to develop and grow. A lot of the times in the Bennett era, our transfer portals have been guys who are coming in for it's a 5th year, it's a senior, it's a 1-year thing. And just like this year, Jordan Minor comes in. He doesn't play half of the season. He's trying to learn the defense. But can you imagine being able to develop somebody and bring them in and get a couple years, 2-3 years out of somebody? And that's why I said in last week's episode, Andrew Rhodey, I know we've been a little bit harder on him, but he was just a sophomore coming from St. Augustine College, or I forget what college he was at, St. Thomas. And so his shot doesn't look bad. It's just a matter of getting comfortable in Coach Bennett's system, and I believe Coach Bennett's probably going to make um, uh, some changes to his offense as well for this coming season. So, um, anyway, wanted to bring up Coach Bennett while we're at it. So, we always say, in Coach Bennett, and we trust in Coach Bennett, and Coach Bennett we trust. And talking about Coach Bennett, there are some concerns that are out there about how much longer Coach Bennett will be coaching the Cavalier basketball team. And you say, why would we be concerned about that? Well, his contract has 2 years left. So 2 years left. He has not accepted an extension or had been given an extension. Reading an article today from Jerry Radcliffe, and he states that the rumor mill is that he was offered an extension, just declined to sign. We know in Coach Bennett's past, it would not appear that would be a money reason, as he's turned down raises constantly throughout his career. He's definitely said he wanted the money to go to his assistants. He asked for them to get raises. He's asked for money to go to other programs other than the men's basketball. And so I don't believe it's a money thing. So the question is, what is on Tony Bennett's mind? 2 years left on a contract. Other schools who are recruiting against him are definitely going to be bringing that up in the recruiting room. So the question is he looking to retire? He's a young man. I don't know if he's looking to retire, or does he just want to get out of the college game? Maybe he wants to go to the NBA. Maybe he's just tired of the NIL. And we say it every week. Coach Bennett has to re-recruit his guys every year, as well as go out and recruit guys for the portal, as well as go out and recruit for the high school kids. And then you're dealing with NIL money. There's a lot to that college job now. So is the NBA something that he's thought about? And I only bring that up because in Jerry Radcliffe's article, he mentioned how Coach Bennett is really good friends with the owner of the San Antonio Spurs. And if you look at the Spurs, that's a job that could open up in the very near future, with the age of the coaching staff. And maybe that's something that the ownership has run by Coach Bennett and says, hey, a couple years, this job's going to be waiting for you. Pop is going to be, I think he's 74 right now. By the end of his contract, I think he'll be 80. So he may not work out to the end of that contract. So this seems like something that could be a possibility for Coach Bennett to go to the NBA if that's something he wanted to do. And also in Jerry Radcliffe's article, he mentions how weird it is that Ron Sanchez left his head coaching job in Charlotte to return as an associate head coach with Tony Bennett, to join Jason Williford as well. Is Coach Bennett bringing him back? Did he bring him back to hand select him as the next head coach of the Virginia Cavaliers, kind of like Coach K did? That's just something to think about. No matter what it is, right now, I think Coach Bennett has this program in a very good spot, and we need to enjoy it. We always say, I said it a little bit ago, in Coach Bennett we trust. When we were talking with Elijah just a few minutes ago, and he said he came here because he wanted to get on a bigger stage, ACC, and also he wants to win. And he said Virginia's a winner. And he said he looked at Virginia in the ACC standings, and he said Virginia, he doesn't believe is finished lower than fifth, and that's, as far back as he's gone. And we talked about this during basketball season when the chips were down and we were concerned. Coach Bennett, we talked about it on the show. I said, Coach Bennett's going to have this team inside that top 4. They compete for the ACC title every single year, no matter how much the team looks like it's a struggle. He finds a way. Last season, we had trouble rebounding the basketball, giving up a lot of offensive rebounds, but he made adjustments. The team once again finished up in the ACC standings, as they do every single year. Coach Bennett has this team every year competing for an ACC title. Just 3 weeks ago, we were discussing the current state of the roster, and we said there were concerns. If this was the roster, we had no transfer portal pickups. If this was the roster we were going to have going into the season, can we win 15 games? And you fast forward 3 weeks, Coach Bennett has found a way to load up. I think there's 7, maybe 8 players on that roster that coming out of high school were top 100 recruits. He has loaded up. And this team, and I don't know if they'll be able to do it this year, it may take a year to gel, but I believe this team could potentially make a run again at a national title within these next 2 years that Coach Bennett is here. And then, we don't know what the future holds, but this roster is the most talented roster on paper that he's had since 2016. Now, we have not seen this roster play a minute of basketball together. So this is on paper. And we trust in Coach Bennett that it's not only going to be on paper, it's going to show up on the basketball court. So while we have Coach Bennett, we need to enjoy it and celebrate what he's doing in Charlottesville. Soon in the coming weeks, when my co-host Jack and Jay are with us, we will break down this roster and kind of what our thoughts are on playing time and who's going to do what. But it is definitely something to be excited about. So I don't know if anybody was able to check out our interview with Kamora Johnson and her mom, but earlier in the week on Tuesday night, I believe it was, we released an interview with Kamora and her mom. So make sure to go to YouTube and check that out. It was a really good interview. We got to learn some of the bribery that Kamora's mom was able to do to get more out of Kamora and Kamora's brother, Jay and Jessica. Kamora's mom had something in common, sharing the bribery of a WWE wrestling video game to get a little more out of their kids in the sporting world. So you definitely want to check that out. So some quick notes for Virginia sports. We got a lot going on right now. Virginia lacrosse is playing Johns Hopkins on Sunday in the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament. So hopefully the Hoos can get a win. Virginia lacrosse, we're used to seeing them play on Memorial Day weekend, and that's what we hope for here. Hopefully we're watching a Virginia win here and then watching them play hopefully next Saturday and find a way to get their way into that national title game on Memorial Day. Another big one, tomorrow at noon, the softball team will be playing Miami, Ohio in the first round of the NCAA tournament. That's just unbelievable and awesome to see the Virginia softball rolling like this, and hopefully they can get off to a good start there. And then the baseball team is wrapping things up for the regular season this weekend with 3 games versus Virginia Tech. They started tonight, I want to say 6 o'clock. So I'm recording this podcast we started at 6 o'clock with Elijah. And so hopefully things are going well. I believe I saw they've moved the start time to Friday of tomorrow's game to noon due to weather. We'll wrap this regular season up on Saturday, and then it'll be time for the ACC tournament. So exciting things ahead for baseball. And and just a lot to be excited about with Virginia sports. So just make sure, guys, I would like you, please go to YouTube at the Cavalier Connection podcast and check out our content. Follow us, like us, and leave comments. If there's something you want to see, let us know. If there's something you don't like, let us know. We might say too bad, or we might say, that's a good idea. But we're just trying to grow this podcast. We are a part of the College Huddle. We are Virginia Cavalier representatives of the College Huddle. You go to thecollegehuddle.com. There's a UVA page on there. You can find our podcast on there as well. It'll take you to link right to YouTube. And then also on X, we are at Talk UVA Sports, and on Instagram at the _Cavalier_connection. That's on Instagram. And let me bring that up for you guys all to see here, because me saying it may not do the trick, but you see right there at Talk UVA Sports on X, on Instagram at the _Cavalier_connection, Facebook and YouTube at the Cavalier Connection. Also, we are the host of the ACC Huddle for the College Huddle. And last night we recorded an episode. I apologize in advance, but they are a part of the ACC, and that's the Virginia Tech Hokies. So the Boundary Corner podcast, who represents Virginia Tech, we recorded an episode last night with them to get the inside skinny on the Virginia Tech football season. Actually, Brian from the Boundary Corner is a good dude. We may not get along during football season, but we can get along all other times of the year. Definitely a good one to check out. That one will be dropping on Friday night at 9:00 on YouTube at the College Huddle. If you search the College Huddle, the ACC Huddle will, the episode will pop up on there. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great evening, and we will see you guys again next Thursday. Next Thursday at 9 will be our next episode, and hopefully there'll be some more news then, and hopefully lacrosse will be still in the tournament. Hopefully softball will still be alive, and ACC tournament's going to be rolling for baseball. Hope everybody has a great evening, and we'll